Mike. Iftita, your mic.
So hello and good afternoon everyone. So welcome back to our webinar session. We are from Universiti Malaya and I'm Iftita, your moderator for today's webinar. I'm from International Cluster and work as project leader for the Middle East region. So our topic today is how to apply visa to study at Universiti Malaya. And we will be hearing from our two awesome speakers and on this subject. So first, we will hear from Mr. Muhammad Firdaus Mahzan, who will give us an overview of the topic. So Mr. Firdaus is the Assistant Registrar in the Visa Unit in UM. So then we will hear from Madam Ruth, a very energetic and lovely English lecturer from UM, who will share in the English language proficiency program offered by UM. Welcome aboard to both of our speakers. Okay, before we get started, I quickly want to remind to all of our attendees to complete the webinar attendance by scanning the QR displayed on the screen or the link in the chat box to get the e-certificate afterward. Okay, everyone? All right, so let's get started. So in the year of 2022, Malaysia has become a home for 1,700 students, international students from 162 countries. In order to get here, the international student need to have a student pass. What is the student pass actually? Student pass is a multiple entry visa which give you permission to remain in Malaysia for the purpose of study at an approved institution on an approved course. So for the first part, we will be discussing on the visa topic. So let's start with Mr. Firdaus. So, Mr. Firdaus, how are you today, Mr. Firdaus?
Yes,
Everything
yes, I'm
okay?
good. Yes, I'm good.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you so much being in our webinar
You're
once again
welcome.
from Visa Unit. Right. So for my first question, one of the most common questions from those looking to study in Malaysia is how do I apply the visa? So can you explain about the visa application process for new international student looking to take an academic program in UM such as diploma, degree, or the English language proficiency program?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Iftita. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Okay. All right. Today I'm here to guide you through the process of applying for a student pass in at the University of Malaya. I want to share with you some important information or guidelines pertaining to the how to apply for the student pass at UM. All right. First and foremost, of course, you need to gather all the necessary documents. Okay. Um, Passport. First thing first is passport. Not only that, the passport validity should be more than 18 months. Yeah, the passport validity should be more than 18 months. Okay, of course, you need to have the offer letter from University Malaya. However, if you are planning to study English at UMCCED, you have to have the at least conditional offer letter. Yeah, the conditional offer letter to study English means that you are not fulfill the requirement. You not fulfill the English requirement at University Malaya. You will be given a conditional offer letter to study. And the third document is passport passport photo. Sorry, photo with white background. Yeah, the background of the photo should be pure white. Yeah, not other colors other than white. And number four is academic certificate and transcript from previous institution or from your high school. And the last one is the health declaration form. This form you can get it in at the visa unit. So these five documents are required for the visa application at University Malaya. All right, how to apply? Okay, for those who have the conditional offer letter, you are required to create an account through EMGS, Education Malaysia Global Services. Yeah, you have to apply online there. Then you have to upload all the necessary documents that I mentioned earlier on the website, EMGS website. Okay, but for those who are taking diploma program, okay, the application should be through UMCCED, UMCSET. So you have to submit all the documents to the UMCSET for them to process your visa application. Okay, so after that, once you get all the documents, you may keep track of your visa application status. Okay, on the EMS website. Okay, until it reaches 70%. Yeah, if there is any additional documents that require for your attention, you have to provide the documents. You can submit the documents to our email to visa unit so that your application will resume accordingly if there is any additional documents. Okay. I think that's all. Okay. Okay. From EMGS, you can keep track. There are percentage. Okay. If the percentage reaches 70%, yeah, 70, you will receive visa approval letter, eval. We call it eval. So this eval is needed for entering Malaysia after that. So you have to wait, patiently wait, yeah, until you get the eval. Okay, I think that's all for the overview of the how to apply for the visa.
Okay, thank
Mm.
you for the comprehensive explanation, Mr. Firdaus. It's actually very helpful, I think, for those who want to study and do the first step to study in University Malaya. So, I'm wondering is what actually happened when the student pass the question and give the application to the visa unit in UM. Can you tell us more about that? You know, sometimes we want to send the document to the officers, but we afraid that the document is misused by other parties and so on. Is it what happened actually to the document?
Oh, okay. As I mentioned earlier, the document should be submitted to the official, I mean, to visa unit, EMCCED. So there is no, I think there is no issues on that. If you send, if the student submit the documents, apply online through EMGS, also there is no issue on that. Um, yeah, the students can keep track of the application from time to time on the EMGS website. Yeah.
Okay, so you mean by that is all the documents submit to the authority or the institution is secure by
Yes,
itself.
yes,
You know,
correct.
sometimes the international students, uh,
They go
want
through
to have
agents,
some
yeah?
confidence, yeah.
Yeah.
In
Mm,
order them to study in Malaysia, they are submitting all the document like their passport,
mm.
photos, and everything. So we ever that sometimes we heard that everything is in order, but it come to other way. So that's the thing happen sometimes.
Yeah.
So
If,
the
if
next
they are,
question is,
sorry.
yeah, it's
So,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, if they are following the right documents and
Mm,
documentation are in order, it should be no issue. Yeah, photo with web
mm,
background, academic and transcript. Yeah, the passport
mm,
validity should be more than 80 months. The
mm,
health declaration form is that they are free from any diseases, so they are free
mhm.
from any health
Mhm.
issues. Yeah, so
Okay.
they're good. They are good to go. Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
One more thing is, what are some of the reason to the student pass application to be rejected?
Oh,
Why are the can be rejected? The student pass application can be rejected.
okay. Firstly, one of the most common reasons for the student pass rejections is I think incomplete documents or incorrect documentation. Yeah. So is it essential for students to ensure that the documents are well prepared? Yeah. Um, and also during the visa application in the process, the students are strictly not allowed to enter Malaysia. Yeah. They are not allowed to enter Malaysia even they enter as a tourist, for example they want to visit Langkawi, for example, they are not allowed to do so until the application reaches 70%, as I said earlier. They have to wait at their home country, wait for the eval to be approved, then they can enter Malaysia. Yeah. So this rejection can be. I mean, we can appeal. Yeah, we can appeal the eval by providing the exit stamp. Yeah, the students should provide us the exit stamp on the passport. They have to provide us the exit stamp means that they already go out from the country, from go out from Malaysia, so we can proceed with the appeal of the application.
You mean
Yeah,
that if the student already come to Malaysia,
yeah.
then
They have to
they
go
still need
out.
to they
Yes,
still
yeah.
need to want to continue to studying in Malaysia, so they
Mm.
need to get the exit stamp first,
Yes,
go out
yes.
from Malaysia, then come back after the
The
eval
eval is approved.
approval. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
because so many students are entering Malaysia without. I mean, during the application, they are not allowed to. They are not allowed to step foot. They are
mm,
into Malaysia. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So okay, if let's say the student already come here and then get the stamp, exit stamp from the from Malaysia,
Mhm.
how long is actually the process? They will come. They can come back after they get the approval on it on the EVA.
Oh, okay. Normally, the process will take around take up for 4 weeks, 1 month. Yeah. So after they receive the eval, they can proceed with. They need to apply for the single entry visa (SEV) at the nearest Malaysian embassy at their home countries. Yeah. The process will take around 3 days. So after they get the e-visa or SEV, also they can apply for the SEV and e-visa online. If they want to apply for the SEV, they have to go physically there in the embassy. But if they want to apply for the e-visa, this is online platform, so they can apply for the e-visa, then enter Malaysia. Um, yeah, enter Malaysia, together with the eval. So once they arrive at the airport at the KLIA, they will produce eval and SEV or A visa. Yeah, so that the immigration officer at the KLIA, Kuala Lumpur International Airport, they will stamp a special pass. Yeah, please make sure, students. Yeah, please make sure that you receive a special pass on your passport, on the passport. If you receive other than special pass, if you receive visit pass or social pass, please correct it. So the correct stamp on at the airport, you need to get special pass. Yeah. After they enter Malaysia, yes, of course they have to report themselves at the visa unit. We need to check their passport condition and documentations. Yeah, are correct. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
at the first, I can
mm,
see that we have two steps actually. First is the pre-arrival procedure, and then the second is the post-arrival
mm,
procedure, right?
mm,
So pre-arrival, the student need to get to know the program that he or she want to enroll
to
in
pursue.
Malaysia. Then after
Mm,
that, they do the application in their country, and then settle the single entry visa in the country. Then after that, they can come over to Malaysia. Then when they arrive in Malaysia, they will do the post-arrival procedure, right?
correct.
So usually, what is the common problem when the student already arrive in Malaysia?
Common problem. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they are not following our instruction actually. So
Oh my
they
God.
have to follow the instructions. Okay. Upon arrival, they have to report themselves at the visa unit. Yeah.
Mhm.
They have
Oh, do you
to.
mean by when they come or when they arrive, immediately they need to report to the visa unit in
Yeah,
UN?
yeah, maybe after one day lah, one day. If they arrive at
Okay.
night, though, of course they will go another the next day, right?
All
So
right.
they have to report themselves. Yeah, they have to undergo a mandatory medical health screening, medical checkup at the um, EMJS panel clinic. Yeah, so after that, they have to wait for the result to be announced. Yeah. Then after that, the percentage will increase to 80%, 80. Just now it's 70, right? So it will increase to 80%. Then once the students see the percentage is 80%, they have to submit their passport at the visa unit to for student pass endorsement. Yeah. What happened if the medical checkup is failed? Yeah, means it is considered as unfit to study. So if unfit to study, they have to make arrangement to leave the country. So
Mm,
yeah, the offer letter will be revoked, and yeah, they're not allowed to continue their studies in at UM.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So mm,
Okay, so let's say where or how much is actually the how much is actually they need to finance all the process from pre-arrival to post-arrival. Do they pay to UM or they pay to EMGS Education Malaysia Global Visa Services?
Oh, actually, they pay directly to EMGS. They pay directly to EMGS for those who are taking for those who are apa ni, having a condition offer letter. They are applied to EMGS directly online. So they make the payment to EMGS. There is no additional cost incurred after they enter Malaysia or before they enter Malaysia. But for
So
diploma program, they have to pay the cost at the UMCCED. Yeah, I think in
okay,
the offer letter it's stated there how much they need to pay. Yeah, so that the
okay.
UMCCED team can apply for their visas accordingly. Mm.
So it depends on the institution. Like UMC said, the student
Mm.
need to pay the some fees in the to the institution, and most of the time the student will pay to EMGS to settle the
Mm.
visa application and the student pass process. Okay,
Yes.
so uh, uh, the last thing that question that we receive in our side is now we know that the full process is there. I think it is a good precaution. Can you tell us on what will happen to the student if they don't register for their student pass? Let's say they already arrived but don't take any action to complete their process.
Oh, means that after they arrive in Malaysia, they keep quiet, and then
Yeah, yeah,
suddenly they turn up after 1 month, for example. So yeah,
yes.
the students they will be categorized as overstayed student. So when if overstay, they will be penalized. Yeah, they will be fined by the immigration department of Malaysia. They need to be compounded. Yeah, so make sure after the students arrive in Malaysia, straight away go to visa unit and get further assistance on the student pass endorsement. Do not keep quiet. Yeah, they will overstay. Then there is there is not good record actually. If the students overstay in Malaysia, there's a big offense. Yeah, if they overstay more than 30 days, 1 month, we afraid that the student will be blacklisted. Yeah, blacklisted. They will be deported to their home country. They will not allowed to enter Malaysia anymore forever. So
Oh,
yeah, we don't want to say this, but this actually happened. So yeah, please make sure that the students are following our regulations and rules accordingly.
okay, I think quite straightforward action to the
Yeah.
student if let's say they don't complete the registration and then
Mm.
they don't get the student pass in order to continue their study here in Malaysia, right?
Mm,
So
yes.
there are three things that I can conclude from your explanation just now. So one is the student need to apply everything early, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
from their from their program application, from the visa application, and then after arrive in Malaysia, they need to settle early for their student pass. You know, something that is actually need to be done as soon as possible when it needed, right? So
Yes.
second is
Yeah.
the student also need to make sure that they meet every requirement for travel, right? Like the
Mm.
health screening means they need to fit to travel and also to study in Malaysia. You know, yeah.
There is no pre-medical screening. Only
Oh,
post arrival. I mean post
oh,
medical screening. Yeah.
okay.
Before they enter Malaysia, they just declare their health
Mhm. The
what
head
health
is fit.
situation.
They are
Yes.
fit to
Yes.
study in
Yes.
Malaysia. Okay, they are fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So the other thing is do inform your institution or officer in charge if there are any changes in your details. Like yeah, student tend to delay everything. You know sometimes, but I think the officer from UM also will remind the student right about
Yes.
all the process. Do
Yes.
they
Correct.
get emails or calls or WhatsApp anything? from
Normally, we disseminate the information through our website, yeah, our official
Mhm.
website, and as well as if we require immediate attention, we will email the students accordingly or send a WhatsApp. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So I
mm.
think completely a good
Aware of the.
explanation. Yeah.
Mm.
Then the process is structured, and then the student have reference in them. Just they need to go to the right path, so there will be no problem at all. Actually,
Mm.
if they decide to come and study in Malaysia, so our officer also helping the student in order to get them safe in Malaysia. Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Firdaus.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Mm.
So, so now we move to our second speaker, Madam Ruth. Okay. We will talk about our English language proficiency program, also known as ELPP. So among the international student in Malaysia. Right. So this year we are reactivating the ELPP program. This is a program designed to enhance participation English skills to prepare them for the IELTS exam, especially. So, which is a part of the international student or international study prerequisite. Okay. So, as one of the lecturers in ALPP, madam, can you please explain a bit about the program in terms of the content?
Sure. Thank you so much, Iftita. Most important thing, that's a brilliant question, is the content. So the content has four skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So if you're looking, so for example, listening, what are they going to listen to align it with IELTS requirement? So probably they would learn greetings, they would imagine they are in a restaurant, or perhaps you are in a shop ordering something, and then you'll be given little cards where you learn how to express yourself. So that's maybe a little bit of an overview for listening. For reading, we have the content. It could be narrative articles, autobiography articles, scientific articles, which are in different paragraphs. So that would comprise together with questions. Now, the questions will be worded in such a way you have multiple choice, you will have fill in the blanks, you will also have matching, which again is aligned to the IELTS requirement. And then we have speaking. So when you're talking about speaking, normally when you actually go, you want to go abroad. So, for example, some of my earlier students who want to go to the UK, and when you actually go for a speaking assessment and you are asked to express perhaps your opinion on something, so you never start with like, uh, so we teach them how to be proficient in all those little colloquials, how you speak. So again, it'll be based on several topics which are again aligned to the IELTS curriculum. Last but not least, the most important, writing. Writing comes from your cerebrum, from your brain, which means you have a structure. The content will be academic writing. Can you give your opinion according to a structure whereby you agree, sometimes you disagree, sometimes you agree to disagree, which again, I reiterate, is aligned to the IELTS curriculum.
Okay. Uh, I know that we have four components, right? The listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Which component is actually the most or the popular among the student? Is it all four is the popular one, or there is some some ranking among the component?
Okay, I think that's really a brilliant question. The hardest, let me just reword that. Actually, the
Oh,
most challenging
challenging.
is
Yeah.
writing. But I think you worded it beautifully, because it can be popular and it can be challenging. That means they really look for help. They look
Mhm.
for help in writing, because writing is based on from your own thinking. They give you a question and you have to structure your thoughts academically. So they have something called academic writing. So they would have to put it into paragraphs and present it with all the marking schemes, things like how you come up with the vocabulary, your thesis statement, all those areas need to be addressed, not just write and write and write and write. So, from our experience, different culture has a different way of thinking. Number one, different culture emphasis in their own hometown is in different areas. So now when they actually come and they got to like sort of rewire their thinking, so that when they write, we have to show them the techniques or the strategies in how to write.
Okay, okay. I think quite interesting explanation. So, in my experience, yeah, I also get problems in writing because sometimes I want to do a sentence, but at the same times I don't have enough vocabulary. So I think this is the common problem for the students to get excellence in English language, I think. But from time to times, by attending courses like this, we can improve, right, madam?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
So, okay. Can you share also about the learning and teaching method, madam?
Oh, that is the most important question. We can have all the knowledge, but the question is, can we come down to the level of the learner? So, based on my experience, we use a lot of role play, a lot of little short videos. We actually get the students to participate, and we have one session whereby, you see, because students are different, they think differently. Some are little vocal, some are not so vocal. So we allocate a certain time where the ones who are not so vocal can actually come up to you and have like a one-to-one session, and we will share with them their strengths, their weaknesses, and probably even answer their queries. So in the teaching method, it is always, we can say in short, reaching down to the level of the learner. So we come down from the throne and come down to the level of the learner, so that they can understand and follow the needs and requirements of this very structured component in IELTS.
Mm-hmm. So you mean by that is if let's say the student doesn't have a good English or have only the basic level of English, they still can join the program, right, madam?
Yes, yes, I think that's a very good question, which I overlooked. Actually, they are put into levels, level
Yeah.
one, level two, level three. So, in accordance to that, they sort of escalate into the next level and level. So, by the time they come to the advanced level, they are more or less ready. Yes. So let me give you an example. So some students, when they want to go to the toilet, they would probably say, Madam, toilet, and we would teach them, because they're very brilliant. We mustn't be mistaken here. They're very brilliant, but from where they come from, they don't use English so much. So now we have to teach them how to come up with the subject, the verb. So we go step by step. So the syllabus is actually written very well, so that they begin to know how to come up with a noun, clause, phrase, and finally you give birth to the, maybe if teacher I can test you, starts with the letter S, ends with the letter E.
Sentence maybe.
Yes. So that sentence now, because you need to know the process, that sentence now will fit into probably like if you're doing speaking, the dialogue related to speaking. If you're doing writing sentences in academic writing, when you agree and disagree. If you're doing listening sentences, how you greet, how you express, and of course, speaking, how you give your opinion. So these are some of the ways.
Okay. Do you have any experience that you have in mind that this is the most challenging time or kind of student that you are ever face in your class?
Okay, so I've got a very
Oh,
humorous
funny one.
example. Yes, a very humorous example. So this was actually quite a big class. And you see, the most important thing is when we speak, sometimes when we teach, everyone comes with different mindset. So as I was teaching, this particular student A, without mentioning the country, okay, student A was actually kissing the student from another country, B. So during that whole session, when it was going on, I said, beautiful people, let's all stop looking at me, the boring person, and look at this lovely couple. So it ended up in humor. They didn't feel small, but they never did that anymore in class. They continued listening. In fact, they listened even more. But they took part, and I did not belittle them, but I sort of highlighted their mistake with a little bit of humor. So you see, this is a very important trait actually, Tita, when we teach different culture students, because some could be engineers, some could be from different backgrounds. So how you approach, I think it's very the psychology behind teaching. So all that is locked into the ELPP program, amongst the lecturers. So just to share something that is a little humorous and deep.
Yeah, interesting experience as a teacher. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is some preview. Can you give some preview of the tips and technique taught in the class to prepare the student for IELTS? That before this maybe we look into English, but this one is specific for the IELTS examinations.
Yes, perfect question. So let me take one component. So, for example, writing. Now, in the IELTS exam, they got something called academic writing. So, you're supposed to have, let me give you the terminology, topic sentence, supporting sentence, thesis statement. And then you got body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and 3. So, with this structure, what we teach them is, let's say your English is ooh la la, but we make them memorize. So, for example, let me give you the first factor. When you go a little bit higher, the first insight. When you go even more higher, the leading factor. So, example, the topic stress is a real thing. Do you agree or disagree? So, let's say I want to agree with that. I would teach them the first factor leading to stress is inability to cope. So, once I give them that, I will teach them the next one, explain that, because you must always imagine the examiner does not know what you're going to say, but by just looking at your writing he will know. So you explain what you mean by inability to cope. But the key thing is this, Tita, you must give for example, because many of the examiners know that we have a tendency, the Asian culture sometimes, we have a tendency to memorize. So when you give, for example, your own personal example, for example, I was sitting for an examination and my stress level was so high and so forth and so on. So then the examiner knows this is a student who is, in English, we say, pragmatically applying based on the reason given. So these are all strategies they will learn. For reading, we teach them skimming, scanning, how to look for main idea, how to look for supporting idea. Your English does not have to be so brilliant, but there are certain strategies. Sometimes, even if you look at the title, you already can do a sort of a prediction. What could this whole article probably be? So you will sort of think in a way when you're reading what could be the possible answers when you're looking for it. And then, of course, speaking, we teach them all straightforward ways. If it's greeting, they will learn all the different greeting and how to overcome simple thing as and So you always say, for example, thank you for the question. So by then you are gathering your nerves. And then you say the first factor, or perhaps, so by then our brain, if I can be a bit technical, the part of the brain which is the Broca and the Wernicke, which manages language, and the prefrontal cortex, which receives and sends signals to the neurons, is not pulsating anymore. It's a little bit more calm. So these are the little strategies, because human fear is natural. There's no human being who's not fearful. It's impossible. So these are some of the tips.
Okay, thank you so much for the tips. Maybe I also can use some of the tips for my presentations or my sharing after this, right?
Sure.
So, okay. So, what we can conclude from the topic on the topic is we are actually offering a program that centered learner centered teaching method in order to build the student confidence, right?
Yes,
So for
very
those who,
well worded. Yes.
yeah. So maybe sometimes we feel that we are too low confident, or we are having difficulties on in speaking or in writing. So actually, the university provide a course for them, and then we can improve together in order to take not only the academic program but also the English examination, right? So, okay, so actually, we are receiving lots of question.
Sure.
This one is more to, I think, Mr. Firdaus. So, Mr. Firdaus, are you still
Yes, yeah, I'm still alive.
all right?
Okay. Um,
Okay, so we are receiving ton of question about the visas actually. Maybe you
mm,
can pick one or two question in helping them, you know.
okay. Okay, let me pick up the question. Okay, if the application is already
Yeah,
from is Zafira Zainal, yeah. If the application is
yeah,
already approved and already reached 70%, what should I do next? Okay, this is very important. Okay, once your application is reached 70%, please make sure that when you will register for the program. Okay, for example, your program will start in October. Yeah, in October. So you are not allowed to enter so early. You need to enter at least 3 days or 1 week before your enrollment starts. Okay, so that you can register on time. Yeah, and prepare the documentation accordingly. You are not allowed to enter 2 months or 3 months before your registration starts. Yeah. Okay. Can I apply eval by conditional offer? Yes, you can apply the eval using your conditional offer letter, but you have to study English at UNCCED. You have to learn English. Yeah. If you decide to study English language proficiency program, and take IELTS at UMTCD, you can apply using a conditional offer letter. However, if you decide not to study English at UMCCD, you have to fulfill the English requirement by taking IELTS by yourself on your own. Yeah. so that you can change the conditional offer letter to full offer letter after you fulfill the English requirement according to your subjects. Okay. Um, and then
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have another question. Hi, I got an offer, but my passport validity period is less than 18 months. I think is it 8 months or 18 months?
okay, from Namfat Song, Namfat Song, I think from Thailand, I think maybe. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, okay, the passport validity should be more than 18 months, 1 year and a half. Yeah, if your passport is less than that, you should apply for a new passport or renew your passport. So because yeah, that's the requirement set by the Immigration Department of Malaysia, not by university but Immigration Department. So yeah, by hook by crook you have to get a new passport to apply for the visa.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we have a question also for Madam Ruth.
Sure.
This one is regarding the writing class for postgraduate. Is it we have or do we do the writing class for other than the English language proficiency program? Do you
Probably.
ever manage?
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
okay.
it was being discussed. So maybe,
Yeah, academic writing, isn't it?
yes, academic writing. So maybe there are certain groups who may conduct it. So right now we are not able to say no, but I'm sure it is in the pipeline. It's in the pipeline. So,
Hmm.
mm,
Okay. All right. So for those who are actually want to study English or want to study any component like listening, speaking, writing, and reading in UM, we actually offering all those program because it is one of the component in our English language proficiency program. So let's say you want to do some academic writing training or courses, you are welcome, and our officers will help you to check whether the program will be run uh, in the nearest month or intake. Then after that, you can apply for the program. So, all right. So, okay. This is what we have now. Okay. There's another two question actually. From Chip Jian Jr. This one is for Mr. Firdaus. So, how long it's usually take time for the processing? I think this one is for the pre-arrival and post-arrival.
How long usually take time? Okay, normally, okay, if your application is 5%, is pending approval from our part. Yeah, it will take around 3 days, 3 to 5 working days to be approved. Yeah. So if there is if the application if the application takes longer than that, please inform us so that we can check what is the lack of your documentation in your documentation. Yeah, normally 3 to 5 working days.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, 3 to 5 working days to complete all the process, right?
Yeah, to be approved, the application to be approved.
Okay. The next question is, I think this is regarding the dependent pass.
Okay.
From Wirawan, he asked about what about for PhD if I want to bring my family.
Yes, you're allowed to bring your family members. Okay, if okay, like this. You need to have the eval first and enter Malaysia and get your student pass issued in your on your passport. Then you can proceed with the dependent pass application. Is that you are not allowed to enter together with your family. Yeah, you have to enter first, apply for the get the student pass endorsed in your passport. Then once your student pass is issued, you can apply for the dependent, your family members. Okay, the category of the dependents are your wife, your spouse, okay, parents and children only. You cannot bring your sister or your brother or your neighbor. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, okay. I think that's
Okay.
all. Yeah.
All right. So actually, we are at the end of our webinar. All right. So I would like to say thank you for both speaker, uh, because their explanation is very superb. I think most of the international students have the overview about our administration here for the visa process, and also the English language proficiency program that we offer to those who maybe doesn't have the English qualification, and also if they want to enhance their skill in the English language proficiency. So we are welcome all the international students to take the opportunity and enroll for the program. So before we end the webinar, once again I want to remind all of our attendees to complete the webinar attendance by scanning the QR code shown. Right? So okay. Once again, if I have time, okay, can I invite Mr. Fidaus last word from you to all of the international student?
Um, Last word. Yeah. Okay. So um, I hope the students can apply the student pass, student visa in a timely manner. Do not do last minute. Don't apply last minute, so that you have ample time to wait for the approval at least 1 month before your registration starts. And yeah, I want to correct some information just now. Okay, for the dependent pass, only postgraduate studies are allowed to bring their family, immediate family. For diploma program or for English language program, are not allowed to bring their families, family members. Yeah, only for postgraduate students. Okay. So I think that's all from me. If you need
Okay.
further clarification or information, you can drop us an email. Yeah, my email. Maybe Mr. Tita can
Yeah,
write in
we
the
will
chat
share
box after
the
this.
email.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
sure,
email,
sure.
or open regularly check on our website from time to time on any updates regarding the visa application process, because the immigration department is always change, last minute change the regulations and the rules, so that we can disseminate the information to students in a timely manner. So please regularly check on our website, UMCCD website, and as well as AASD website. Yeah,
Okay,
thank
okay.
you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fidaus. Okay, Madam Ruth, any words or any advice?
Yes, thank you very much. I think putting everything that we have spoken today with a beautiful explanation with Firdaus, which is so structured and hosted by Itita, and of course our English language program, please come to UM. We are very structured, very clear, and we are here to help as many students as possible. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Madam. We are very honored to have Mr. Fidaus and also Madam Ruth here today. And last but not least, I hope all the information will help our international students, candidate, in order to register, to apply, or to come to Malaysia. So, okay, that's all for today. See you on our next webinar session. Happy Eid Fitri to all our Muslim viewers, and have a good day, everyone. Bye bye. Ending dia. Ending dia.